Welcome to the Donovan and Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show. I am Mike McGivern. Thank you so much for joining us. So for years now, on my high school sports show, I've been saying that the Classic 8 from top to bottom is the best high school football conference in the state of Wisconsin. I get some pushback from some people in this area, but a ton of people up in the valley tell me that I'm nuts, I'm crazy. But I'll have that conversation with anyone. Even with the changes the last few years, Catholic Memorial, Waukesha North, and Waukesha South are out of the Classic 8. But the addition to Pewaukee, from top to bottom, I believe the Classic 8 is the best football conference in the state. For tonight's game, we have the McGonigle Indians traveling to play the Lasers at Kettle Moraine High School. Both teams are 2-1 in the Classic 8, with Kettle Moraine 3-2 overall, and McGonigle is 4-1 overall. Let's break down the Lasers from Kettle Moraine. This is a young football team. They lost to Appleton East and Oconomowoc a few weeks ago, but they've bounced back with 2 wins in a row against Waukesha West and West Ellis Hale. We are now joined by the head football coach at Kettle Moraine High School. He is Matt McDonnell. Hey, Coach, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. A lot of stuff going on out at Kettle Moraine. And to keep these kids focused, I know there's some issues with some plumbing at the school and your homecoming week. And I know you guys have moved homecoming now, but as a head football coach, I've got to believe it's difficult to keep these guys focused and understand that a really good McGonigle team is coming over to play.
Yeah, I think it's homecoming week's always a challenge. Virtual learning is also a challenge. And, what your big fear of a coach, right, is like breaking routine. So like not having school, they had off on Monday, Tuesday, then they're virtual the rest of the week. So like you panic on those type of things. Our kids did a really good job on Monday, which I was really worried about. So I was proud of them for that. And, it helps that it's McGonigle, I think, versus, maybe a lesser prominent program. I think everybody knows just how good they are. They're one of the best programs in the state.
Yep.
Coach Knave's one of the best coaches in the state. So like I think they feel that and understand that. So it's a little bit easier to motivate them from that perspective. But yeah, it definitely challenges you. You always think you kind of suck as a coach as the kids don't do enough there. So we'll see.
Hey, Coach, please don't ever think that. For years now, in the best conference in the state of Wisconsin, Kettle Moraine you have done really, really well through your tenure there. And 2-1 this year in conference, 3-2 overall. And I know that the conversations that you and I had, you guys lost some unbelievably talented football players, and some young guys have got to step up. And you said, you know what, it's kind of exciting, right? It's a challenge to get these kids to where we think and our staff thinks that they can be, but it's going to be a minute. It's not the old Kettle Moraine. These are young, new kids that understand to put on that jersey is a big deal, but we got to get them in the right place, get them in the right mindset. And I think with what you had coming back, Coach, I high-five you, right? I say, look, I think you guys done a great job.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, you definitely just, I don't know, it's high school football. You just feel like you suck sometimes and let kids
right
down, and it's just a grind. So
it is. Hey, let's talk about some of these players and people that are going to be watching the game live here on My 24. A couple of guys that jump off the field and that are leaders both on the field and off the field for you. And I want to start with Hawk Denoyer. He just he's a kid that jumps off the tape, and he does not mind hitting people. This is a physical kid that does not mind laying people out, and I enjoy watching him on film, Coach. He does a great job.
Yeah, he's a total baller. He played for us as a sophomore. We've not many sophomores can compete in this conference,
right?
And he was able to be, I believe, a second team all conference as a sophomore, which is a big deal. Every single sophomore we've had since I've been here that started as a sophomore has played big time football, or chose not to play football, but had opportunities too. So we have high expectations for Hawk, and yeah, he's got a relentless motor, just always chases everything down, and he's the most physical kid we got for sure.
He plays left tackle and defensive end, and it's funny, Coach, because he is as physical on both sides of the ball. Like, he'll come hit you, and then if you're going to hit him, he does a great job of getting off blocks and finding the ball, and he's got really good feet for a kid his size. I want to talk a little bit next about T. Kolowski, who is a flanker and a cornerback, and he's a really good football player. He's a kid that catches just about anything thrown his way, correct?
Oh yeah, his catch radius is ridiculous. He's kind of our like jack of all trade guy, right? Like we line him up at quarterback, receiver, tight end, defensive end. We put him in coverage a couple times, so like he literally can just do everything. He's a tremendous basketball player for us too. And you know, like he didn't play a ton as a junior, but he's obviously as a senior playing just about every snap, and he's probably the most important piece of our offense from a skill position.
Hey, Coach, when you and think about what we're saying here, this kid is really good, and he didn't get a lot of snaps last year, and I know that he had to be standing on the sidelines going, "Look, I'm a pretty good football player," but how good that team was the last couple of years, difficult for somebody to get a lot of snaps. But when it was his turn, and I love kids like that, Coach, and I know you do. You know they're good players, but there are a couple really good players ahead of them. But when they get their opportunity, they're not giving it back. And that kid has definitely done that.
Yeah, it's been special to watch. He's had a really big season for us.
Hey, and the third one, Jack Spellman, is a tight end linebacker. From that tight end position, I watched him on tape. He pancakes some kids. He doesn't mind hitting people from the tight end position. And as a linebacker, he seems to be always around the ball. Kid, really high football IQ.
Yeah, he is, and he's a leader of the defense. He knows everything about our offense too. You know, Jake's done a tremendous job on both sides. He's like a team captain. He's, you know, probably our best leader on the team from like a, you know, traditional leadership standpoint, from like work ethic and speaking and like making sure everybody stays involved and committed. And I can't say enough good things about him and what he's done. He's been a huge part of our program, really the last 2 years, but obviously particularly this year.
Hey, Coach, last question for you. With the kind of success that you guys have had out of Kettle Moraine for the last few years, people I think knew coming into this year that this was going to be a different animal. I don't want to say a rebuild, but the amount of players and really good players that you guys lost, this is just a different way to get ready for the best football conference in the state of Wisconsin. These kids and your staff, I think, have kind of closed it up and said, look, it's us against them. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. We're still everybody's big game. And Coach, you have felt that through and through this season.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. You know, last year we ran the table in the conference, and the year before we were pretty tough.
Yep.
And, so we're a lot of revenge games. So
yeah,
we got to be ready for it.
100%. Hey, Coach, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you on the sidelines here tonight, and good luck against McGonnell.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
You bet. Hey, we're going to get to a break. Other side of the break, we're going to be joined by Mike McGivern from McGonnell High School. This is the Donovan and Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show only on My 24.